in pursuing a just energy transition agenda is seeking, among other issues, adequate climate change, especially through the African Carbon Market Initiative. He made this known while receiving a delegation from the US-based Rookie Mountain Institute, an international think tank involved in the issue of energy transition for the last 40 years. Professor Osinbajo had earlier in the day virtually participated in the progress meeting of the Market Initiative Steering Committee, where the progress of the plans on broadening the market in Nigeria and Africa was revealed. He said the federal government will be working on issues of climate finance, specific projects that will advance the 2060 net zero target of Nigeria and exploring the possibility of electric vehicles in the country. According to the Vice President, Nigeria will consider the commissioning of generators, development of cooking stoves, think through options such as electric cars. The steering committee noted that it plans to attain $1 billion in total commitment by buyers before COP28 later this year. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured Nigerians that it will replicate the Osun and Ekiti gubernatorial elections success story come next month in Nigeria. The assurance was given at the Election Monitoring and Support Center, EMSC, Amber Zone Implement Workshop for 2023 general elections. In his address, Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner Olusegun Agbaje stressed that the support center remains a proactive measure to reducing challenges during elections. He explained that since the constitutional responsibility and obligation of INEC were to conduct free, fair, credible, and each-free polls, the Commission must demonstrate its ingenuity, capability, commitment, and determination to undertake a credible exercise next year. Special Advisor to INEC Chairman Professor Mohammed Kuna harped on the need to take inventory of readiness state by state and council by council in order to have clear assessment of readiness statuses, as well as to have total control over all planned activities. In the meantime, Nigerians have urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to make the new Naira notes available in all automated teller machines, ATMs, as well as over the counter in all the states of the Federation, as they have continued to lament scarcity of the new notes. Those who spoke with OSBC News in separate interviews bemoaned the hardship they are facing in trying to get the new Naira note few days to the deadline. Our reporter, Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, now reports.
With 5 weeks gone into the period of transition from old to new Naira note and just barely 1 week to the deadline for the acceptance of the old notes as legal tender, the Central Bank of Nigeria and the commercial banks appear to be at loggerheads over the circulation of the new notes. Recall that the Central Bank of Nigeria had earlier announced that the 31st of this month will be the last day that the old Naira notes will be legal tendered. This directive has made many to deposit their old notes to their different bank in order to get the new notes. In a bid to comply with the CBN's directive, most automated teller machines owned by different commercial banks, as observed by OSBC News Crew in Oshogbo, Osun State Capital, shows that the automated teller machines were dispensing the new Naira notes. Speaking with OSBC News in separate interviews on this development, bank users including Mr. Abdulmojid Juma, Mr. Musa Adegun, Ms. Zainab Taufik, and Mr. Adebi Adepowale said the new Naira note is available, but they will struggle to get it, saying one can only punch out 5,000 Naira at a go after waiting for like 2 or 3 hours. They called on the government and the Central Bank of Nigeria to come to their rescue so as to avert the situation of wanting to collect the sum of 40,000 Naira and one can only get it bit by bit.
So if you want to withdraw, you cannot withdraw more than 5,000 Naira for the new notes.
The new note is not much inside the bank. Okay, if I want to collect 50,000 Naira now, I won't. Maybe 20,000 or 30. That's the least I can collect.
Well, they are giving us 40,000 Naira each, but they ask us to withdraw 5,000, which make us to stay long, more than the amount we want to collect. They're supposed to do the process very good for us. That 40,000, take it 2 times and go. Other person will be able to. We are just standing here because of 40,000. People will start for like 3 hours, 4 hours because we want to take ordinary 40,000.
They however called for the extension of the deadline that the old Naira notes will be legal tendered, as they expressed dissatisfaction, noting that some Nigerians have not been able to access the redesigned notes since it was rolled out on the 15th of December last year. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria has requested for the partnership with the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) on the use of internet money for corps members, adding that the electronic platform will offer its users the ease of payment at no risk. Deputy Director of the Information Technology Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mrs. Abib Yusuf, stated this when he led some staff of the Apex Bank on a courtesy visit to the NYSC National Directorate headquarters in Mitama, Abuja. The CBN also stated that the e-Naira, which is the first of its kind in Africa, encompasses digital wallets, which will allow the onboarding of many users and offline payments for goods and services. In her response, the Acting Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Mrs. Christy Ifeanyiwa Uba, said the scheme is ready for collaborations that will make the service year memorable for the corps members. World Bank's Nigeria Country Director Shubham Chaudhry has said the country needs urgent regulatory and policy reforms at the federal and state levels to unlock additional 6.7% yearly growth over the next 20 years. Mr. Chaudhry disclosed this during the Business Professional Forums, which held in Lagos. He said Nigeria must prioritize reforms for short and medium term on macroeconomics, institutional enablers, and investment accelerators. He said Nigeria should adopt a single market reflective exchange rate, noting that despite a surge in oil export revenues, foreign exchange reserves held at the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, are falling and have declined in 2022, while the exchange rate in the private market has surged. Mr. Chaudhry said petrol subsidies disproportionately benefits richer households and certainly leaks to neighboring countries, adding that Nigeria's petrol prices are the lowest in the region, thereby creating strong incentive for smuggling to neighboring countries. The federal government has said that all international travelers arriving in Nigeria are now required to provide evidence of vaccination at the point of entry. This is following the reported upsurge in COVID-19 in China, Japan, the United States of America, and other countries. The government also said unvaccinated passengers arriving from other countries may have to be vaccinated at the airports. The Director of Port Health Services, Dr. Geoffrey Okatubu, disclosed at the ministerial briefing held in Abuja. It could be recalled that the Presidential Steering Committee in December relaxed the COVID-19 rules in the country. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sagi Enairo, recently approved the Port Health Services should meet with other stakeholders such as the NCDC, the Ministry of Aviation, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, and the relevant unions over the use of rapid diagnostic test kits for testing any suspected ill passengers at the point of entry. And now to sports. The Interim Management Committee for the Nigeria Professional Football League (NPFL) has ruled that matches of the competition will run as scheduled to ensure smooth conclusion of the season. In a statement signed by the committee's head of operation, Davidson Orumi, the committee said it took the decision to avert disruption of the calendar, adding that it has already received a draft of requests for fixtures rescheduling a number of Nigeria Premier League football matches for clubs. The statement cited the directive from the Nigeria Football Federation, which frowned at the deluge of requests seen as threatening the integrity of the committee. The IMC explained that the directive is in response to a chaotic demand for fixture changes that, if not checked, could undermine the value of the NPFL. And on the foreign scene, the Burkina Faso government had clarified that it has asked France to pull its troops out of the insurgency country within a month. Report says France has around 400 special forces soldiers stationed in Junta Burkina Faso, but relationships have deteriorated in recent months. Government spokesperson Joe Emmanuel Odrago said the step is not the end of diplomatic relations between Burkina Faso and France, adding that determination is normal and is foreseen in terms of the agreement. French President Emmanuel Macron has said Paris was awaiting clarification from Ouagadougou over the pullout calls. Government spokesman stated that the insurgency has claimed the lives of thousands and driven at least 2 million others to flee their homes. And that ends the media news on OSBC. It was edited by Tunde Bolatito. Join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.